Hello students, welcome to the lecture on fast food and popular catering, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Explain the basic policies, financial, marketing and catering. Describe catering considerations. Discuss the control and performance measurement. Let's start with some introduction. The fast food and popular catering may be defined as that sector of the catering industry primarily concerned with the preparation and service of food and beverages quickly for immediate sale to the customer. Examples of fast food and popular operations include take always, such as hamburgers and fish and chip operations, coffee shops, snack bars, self-service cafeterias, public house catering, steak houses, etc.
4 years. That's how long it took to make this, and this. There are currently 145 choices, all of which took anywhere from 9 months to 4 years to go from an idea to your plate.
The McGriddles was huge for me.
Deb is McDonald's lead food scientist and the brains behind the all-encompassing breakfast sandwich.
They wanted the whole kind of platter idea where you have your sausage and your eggs, and finally we kind of arrived on the hot cake idea in a little more portable, fun way.
Getting an item on Mickey D's menu is no easy feat.
How do you know when you've got a new product whether or not you're going to be able to bring that up into, let's say, the top 5?
It's hard to say what's going to be that very next Big Mac, and it's not until we get it out into the restaurants and we see how it resonates with our consumers over time.
There are 40 members of McDonald's menu innovation team that consist of chefs, dietitians, scientists, and marketing specialists. People who spend their days conceptualizing and executing new menu items like the now famous smoothie.
What you do is you push the blueberry pomegranate smoothie button, and then you get to pick the size, and it automatically starts making the smoothie. So altogether it's about 30 seconds from the time you start it, pull the cup, and pour it.
Smoothies are on trend in the restaurant world, making up 9% of all menus. But not all popular food items have panned out.
In the past we've had pizzas, and McDonald's and pizzas really didn't go together because there's so many other places to go get pizzas.
How do you know that it's time to pull the plug on a product?
If we don't have something that we sell a lot of, then the quality cannot be consistent for the crew to remember how to make it and for it to be able to be delivered to the customer in a way that we're proud of.
Something they are proud of, adding fresh produce to the menu.
Tell me about the apples, because apples was a big deal.
Huge.
Huge when McDonald's got into that.
Yes. It took a lot of work to understand the different varieties of apples, what ones taste good, which ones don't.
What was the most surprising thing you learned in this process?
How temperature sensitive produce is, to ensure that you're in that zone of, anywhere from about 36 to 45 degrees. When you go beyond that, you have a lot of change in that product quality and characteristic.
McDonald's buys more than 60 million pounds of apples a year, precisely why it can take years to launch a product. When McDonald's rolled out their wild berry smoothie, it took an extra year because they would have had to purchase 30% of the entire supply of blackberries in the U.S.
Are there some foods you just cannot do no matter how hot they are?
So I'm never going to say we can't, because we do a lot of things that we never would have thought we could have done before.
Like smoothies?
Like smoothies.
In terms of UK sales, sandwiches accounted for just over 25% of total sales in 1994. Burgers almost 21%, pizza and fish and chips between 14% and 15%. Between 1990 and 1994, the value of the fast food market increased by 26%, accounting for 52.1% of all restaurant sales in the UK. Almost 50% of adults visiting a fast food operation at least once a month, and 73% visited a takeaway over the same period. Future growth is expected as the major brands expand, particularly via franchising, so that the year 2000 will see a 24% increase at current prices, taking the 1994 value. Although differing from one another in certain aspects, these catering outlets have a number of characteristics which are common to all these types of operations. They offer a limited menu range, The operation may be centered around one particular product, for example, a hamburger, or offer a limited range of products as found, for example, in coffee shops and cafeterias. The food and beverages sold are of a consistent standard and quality, with a high percentage of convenience and ready prepared foods being used. These operations cater mainly for the relatively lower average spends markets, with lower prices being charged than those found in other food and beverage establishments. There is a low ratio of service staff to customers, with many of these operations being a form of self-service. Consumption of food may be on or off the premises. Less rigid meal times are observed by these establishments, with some form of menu usually available throughout the day. And finally, all aspects of the operation are highly standardized, leading to a high volume throughout, with resulting economies in food, labor and other operating costs. These characteristics of fast food and popular catering operates are displayed to a varying extent by the different types of operations. In takeaway outlets, for example, characteristics such as the limited menu range, the lower prices charged, and the low ratio of service staff to customers are more evident than in other popular operations such as public houses, where the menu range is larger, higher prices are charged, and waiter service to the table may be the norm. Therefore, within the fast food catering market, there are different levels of operation, which vary from the takeaway operations such as McDonald's and Burger King at one end of the scale to catering establishments such as public houses at the other end. However, because these different types of operations do display similar characteristics, they may be conveniently grouped under the umbrella term of fast food or popular catering outlets, although it is important to realize the range of establishments within this sector. Unlike some establishments, the provision of food and beverages is usually a fast food or popular catering operations only activity, and therefore the establishment has few alternative uses. Industrial cafeterias, for example, are often able to offer function facilities at the weekends or in the evenings when the cafeteria would otherwise be unused. For the majority of fast food and popular catering operations, however, this alternative is not available, and they must therefore rely heavily on their day-to-day operation, during which time they must maximize their sales potential. For this reason, the location of fast food and popular catering operations is particularly important, as they must be aimed at attracting a large volume of trade to generate a high turnover.
Pretty incredible study that was done by it was published in the American Journal of Preventative Medicine. And as you guys all know, a lot of fast food chains are trying to do something to revamp their image. Like McDonald's, for instance. McDonald's was, suffering a PR nightmare after Super Size Me. So they wanted to provide healthier options for people who want to eat healthy. This study that was conducted indicates that they haven't really done much. Their egg white McMuffins aren't doing much for your health. So let me tell you how the study was done. The researchers looked at 8 different fast food chains between 1997 and 2010, and they judged using the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Healthy Eating Index. And it's a 100-point scale based on 3 different things: variety of foods eaten, intake of each major food group, and also intake of fat, cholesterol, and sodium. So as you guys know, a 100-point scale. And what they found was that when it comes to whether or not they improved, fast food menus only increased their nutritional value by 3 points in the last 14 years, from 45 to 48.
We're making progress. As Bush would say, we're making progress.
I was actually a little surprised about this because, McDonald's has like the McWrap, and I thought that the egg whites would make a difference. They don't make a difference at all. You only save about 50 calories, which isn't a big deal. In fact, let me give you some specific examples of how fast food chains try to switch things up. So with the Egg White Delight McMuffin, it contains 34% of an adult's daily sodium intake and only 50 fewer calories than the original McMuffin.
Awesome.
And also, when it comes to the green wrapped chicken McWraps, it's up to almost 600 calories and 44% of your recommended daily fat intake.
And those things are small. No, look, they put the apple and something else on the menu. You think an apple's an apple. I got that part, and I'll give them that part, right? But they never tricked me with the wraps. There's the fried chicken in the wraps, right? And there's all the sauce. That's why I order it. Because it's fatty and delicious. Why do you think I went to McDonald's?
They have the grilled option too. So yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
Whatevs, right? And the egg white thing, it still has the muffin and the cheese and the whatever that ham is. But you know, the egg white thing sounds pretty delicious.
No, it doesn't.
No, really?
I like my yolk. Sorry.
No, I get it both ways. In fact, whenever I go to the airport,
You'll get the egg white and the egg with the yolk.
That's right.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, because those things are tiny. Can anybody really just have one of those for breakfast?
I have one of those for breakfast, and
Well, I'm twice your size, so I guess that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So what I normally do is egg McMuffin and a bacon cheese biscuit. Makes sense, right?
Oh my gosh, really?
Of course. But I'm going to switch it up now. I get one egg white. I'm going to save a lot of calories.
Yeah, totally. By the way, a few years ago, McDonald's also came out with their oatmeal, right? And everyone's like, yeah, oatmeal's super healthy.
Everybody's like, this oatmeal is super heavy, man.
I don't have to get the bacon biscuit or whatever it is. Well, it turns out that it has more sugar than a Snickers bar, so you're literally better off eating a Snickers bar.
Now, I know, but look, I'm Mr. McDonald's Defense today. Department of Defense for McDonald's over here. And you can tell. Anyway. Yeah, but Snickers bar, okay, fine. But Snickers bar is not breakfast.
It doesn't, okay, so.
Oatmeal is like, at least it's a meal, and you know, you can get filled more from it, and you might not get hungry in like the next 7 minutes.
So you make somewhat of a fair point, because a Snickers bar has almost no nutritional value unless, you know, you count the peanuts as protein. I don't even know how much protein it has. But, you know, at least with oatmeal, you have some grain, and, you know, I guess you can consider that a meal. But look, sugar is the worst possible thing you can put in your body. Sugar speeds up the aging process. Of course, it's horrible when it comes to developing diabetes. It's not good. So
yeah, counter argument, cavemen didn't have much sugar. They didn't live very long. I got plenty of sugar. I already passed them. What now, cavemen?
Great argument, Jake.
Basic policies, financial, marketing, and catering. In any food and beverage operation, there are a number of basic policy decisions that need to be made at the initial planning stage before the establishment begins operating or whenever major changes of operation are to take place. These are the financial, marketing, and catering policies. Fast food and popular catering establishments may be independently operated, in which case the individual operators are responsible for compiling their own policies, or as is more usual, they may be part of a large organization. The size of these large organizations also allow them to offer franchise arrangements to prospective franchisees. Franchising is an arrangement in which the franchisor grants to the franchisee a license to use particular commercial methods of operation which he has developed. The franchisee contributes the necessary capital to start up an operation, effort and motivation to run the establishment, and agrees to be controlled by the franchisor. The franchisor in return contributes to the training of the franchisee, the procedure of operation, and other managerial expertise. Franchising arrangements are particularly applicable to fast food outlets because of the way in which these operations lend themselves to standardization and duplication, and in this way encourage the development of franchising within the large chain of operations. The advantages to the franchisee are it offers the opportunity for immediate entry into business. It offers immediate entry into a particular market with a proven successful package, that is a brand product. Assistance is offered in finding and evaluating sites. Assistance is given with initial layouts, shop fitting, specifications, and advice with planning applications. Assistance is given with initial training of management and staff. The franchisor provides menus and sells or nominates suppliers, all food, beverage, small equipment, etc. to the franchisee. The franchisor provides all operational documents. The franchisor provides regional and national promotional support. The franchisor provides regular advice and assessment. The advantages to the franchisor are it enables the franchisor to expand the business with speed using the franchisee's investment capital. It enables the franchisor to achieve market penetration with relative ease and speed using the franchisee's capital, time, and energy. It reduces the number of development staff to find sites and to be involved in lengthy openings of new units. Financial considerations. Fast food and popular catering establishments have a number of characteristics which enable their particular business orientation to be identified. Relatively speaking, they do not require such a high initial capital outlay relative to other sectors of the industry, nor a high percentage of fixed costs, although they do normally have a higher percentage of variable costs. Although the products offered for sale by these establishments are perishable, they are not as perishable as similar food and beverage products offered by other types of catering establishments. This is mainly due to the high level of convenience foods used by popular catering outlets and the fact that often most of the foods are cooked to order and do not have to be prepared sometime in advance. Also, because the products are not so highly perishable, these operations do not suffer from such sales instability as do hotels, for example, and they therefore have a lesser degree of dependence on market demand. All these factors contribute to making the fast food and popular catering operations both cost-oriented to control costs tightly and market-oriented to ensure the volume of business in a very competitive sector of the industry. In these lower average spend operations, the cost of the meal to the customer is an important variable in determining the sales of the operation because fast food and popular operations demonstrate a very elastic demand. An increase in an establishment's prices of, for example, 10% is likely to have a substantial effect on its sales. Variable costs in fast food operations account for a large part of the product's selling price, and the range of price discretion is consequently low. The prices charged by these establishments must therefore be carefully calculated, particularly in relation to competitors' pricing levels. The average spend per customer can be relatively low, ranging from INR 297 to 396 in takeaway operations up to INR 1486 per head in public houses, although these relatively low average spends are compensated for by the volume sales achieved. Marketing considerations. The growth and development of popular and fast food catering in the past 15 years have brought an increasing awareness of the importance of marketing to this sector of the industry. With the growth of gross and disposable incomes, together with an increase in eating away from the home by all sectors, the potential to develop in these areas was identical. The marketing policy for the modern popular and fast food organization is the key to success in this sector of the industry. A study of many of these organizations provides an outline to the marketing policy which may be discussed under the variables of product, promotion, place, price, process, physical evidence, and participants. The product for the fast food and popular catering sector has two easily identifiable tangible characteristics: a high degree of standardization and of theme. It includes not only the menu but also the quality of the food and beverages, its methods of production, the portion sizes and the method of service and presentation, as well as the general layout, design of the individual unit, the decor and ambience. The promotion techniques used by fast food operations are usually very direct and obvious. Many operations use specifically designed logos and colors which become representative of all level of operation in terms of standard of food, service, etc. These colors and logos are used extensively in most aspects of the establishment. The external facial interior decor, service accompaniments and so on, and in takeaway operations on the disposable wrappers used for packaging the foods and beverages. The place refers to the way by which the products and premises are made readily available to the customers at the appropriate time and location. Location is of prime importance to business success in the fast food and popular catering sectors, where customers are unlikely to travel too far for this type of meal experience. The price is a very important element also to success in this sector of the industry. Customers will tend to be cost conscious and to be aware of the prices charged by competitors for similar items. Any significant increase in price could well result in a significant decrease in sales. The price must be seen by these customers as giving good value for money together with a consistent and standard product of good quality. Catering considerations. Type of customer. Although the majority of fast food and popular operations cater for the middle markets, it is dangerous to define these markets too specifically, as customers from other market segments do also buy from these type of operations for a variety of reasons. Perhaps a more appropriate question to ask, therefore, is what sort of meal experience are customers seeking when they enter a fast food or popular catering operation? In a takeaway establishment, it may be suggested that customers seek this type of operation as no more than a filling station, a sales outlet that may have enter at any time during the day and purchase food and beverages immediately, either to be consumed on the premises or elsewhere at their convenience. This type of informal eating or grazing has increased during recent years, prompting an increase in the demand for fast foods and convenience style eating. In other types of popular catering establishments, customers may require something more than simply refreshment. For example, shoppers in a department store will often purchase a beverage and a snack not only for refreshment but also so that they may sit down and rest. At the higher spending level of the popular catering sector, customers will frequent restaurants such as public houses and theme restaurants for different reasons again. Here, they would expect a larger menu choice, waiter service at the tables, a better standard of decor, and some form of restaurant atmosphere. In return for this, the customers would pay a higher price for their meal. Customers' needs may therefore vary considerably from one type of fast food operation to another. Type of product menu. A fast food and popular type operation may be centered around one particular product, for a hamburger, a croissant or baked potato, or may offer a range of products as, for example, found in coffee shops and cafeterias. Those operations that feature one or two standard food items achieve menu variety by featuring the standard item in a number of different ways. For example, if a food court outlet is offering jacket potatoes as its main food item, it may offer 8 or 10 different fillings to achieve variety. Similarly, hamburger operations offer a variety of accompaniments and garnishes with their standard hamburger. The majority of takeaway operations have traditionally been of this nature, that is, featuring one particular product such as chicken, pizza, fish and chips, croissants, baked potato, etc. There has been an identifiable trend, however, in the past few years of these types of operations broadening their product base and product mix in order to offer customers more choice and encourage sales growth. For example, McDonald's now feature pizza on their menus so that customers who may traditionally have only frequented Pizza Hut or Pizza Express can now also consider McDonald's as an alternative. Food production styles. The food production styles used by fast food and popular catering operations are dictated to a large extent by the high percentage of convenience and ready prepared food used by these establishments. The convenience foods used include pre-portioned items, frozen, dehydrated and canned foods, and any other items that are purchased by the establishment with little or no further preparation necessary before they can be sold to the customer. In these operations, it is not so much a question of whether or not to use convenience foods, but of those available, which ones to use and to what extent. The amount of convenience foods used by an establishment will depend on a number of factors: the cost of buying in manufactured foods compared with the cost of producing the same products on the premises, the standard of food that the establishment wishes to offer, the variety of menu items to be offered, whether the additional costs of buying manufactured foods is offset by savings in production and labor costs, etc. Generally speaking, however, the advantages gained by using convenience products in fast food operations do warrant their extensive use in these types of establishments. Food service styles. A variety of food service styles are used by popular catering establishments depending on the type of establishment, the speed at which the customers must be served, the type of menu offered, etc. The service styles used by these types of operations include waiter service, self-service, traditional and free-flowing cafeterias, buffets, call order bars and vending. In takeaways and most industrial cafeterias, self-service methods are employed in which customers present themselves at a counter and either help themselves to the foods displayed or are served across the counter with the desired food and beverage items. Organization and staffing. Staffing levels in fast food operations are, where possible, kept to a minimum. The ratio of service staff to customers is dependent upon a number of factors, which include the type of establishment, the range of menu items and the prices charged. The labor intensity of an operation is particularly related to its price level. Broadly speaking, the higher the price of the meal to customers, the more service they expect to receive. For example, takeaway operations have a very low service staff to customer ratio, one service staff member serving several hundred customers over a peak lunch time period. This ratio increases as the operation becomes more sophisticated, so that in waiter service establishments, for example, one waiter may only serve 12 to 16 customers. Control and performance measurement. Control and measuring the performance of a food and beverage establishment presupposes the existence of standards against which the operation's performance may be measured. Such standards are contained in the financial, marketing and catering policies. If an operation is independently operated, it is the owner who will establish these standards. If it is group owned, the operation will be governed by policies from the head office. The control of any food and beverage operation may be divided into two main areas: the ongoing or operational control and the after the event or post-operational control. Operational control will follow the previously described food and beverage control cycle: purchasing, receiving, storing, issuing, preparation and selling. Within each of these stages, standards are laid down against which certain aspects of the operation may be measured. For example, to measure the purchasing function of the establishment, standard purchase specifications, portion sizes and yields may be used. The information obtained from the sales aspect of the control cycle is the first step in post-operational control. Although this is also described as control after the event, the time between the event and control is critical. The measurement of an operation's performance should begin as soon after the event as possible. If it is not, any impact the instigation of a control procedure will be lost. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learnt in this lecture. In any food and beverage operation, there are a number of basic policy decisions that need to be made at the initial planning stage, before the establishment begins operating or whenever major changes of operation are to take place. Fast food and popular catering establishments have a number of characteristics which enable their particular business orientation to be identified. The growth and development of popular and fast food catering in the past 15 years have brought an increasing awareness of the importance of marketing to this sector of the industry. Controlling and measuring the performance of a food and beverage establishment presupposes the existence of standards against which the operations performance may be measured. The service styles used by these types of operations include a waiter service, self-service, traditional and free-flow cafeterias, buffets, call order bars and vending.